Part 2 on the Isle that reminds me of Brazil. Chapter 39 actually had me, like, wheezing. I barely got to know Traeger. Like, this death just felt so sudden and so impactful, and, like, reading Kat's reaction to watching him die, I was actually so sad. And, like, not that I've had a ton of feeling for Kat, but, like, it feels like she's finally moving on a bit. Had someone who really wanted her. Everyone just has to pretend that this death is totally normal. Violet has to say thank you after he's been shot. The Griffin is in the background, like, moaning and dying. Kat has to have her screams covered. I think I'm gonna cry again. For a death that's, like, seemingly inconsequential in this book, ooh, it hurt. In chapter 40, they take Traeger's body and the Griffin's body to a different isle to have it burned, because no part of him will be left here. They're making a day of just doing flyover searches of all of these smaller isles. Everyone pairs off. Riddick and Violet are together. Before they decide to fly off, the Irids find them, and they don't seem very nice. Chapter 41, it's not going well. And Darna tells the Irids everything, like book 1 and 2, her background, and they are horrified, but they also set her up for failure. They sent her there so that way she could eventually report back to them to say whether or not the humans have learned to live peacefully. But she grew up in the environment she grew up in. She only knows what she knows. And then they're like, oh, you didn't grow up with our values even though we didn't raise you? Everyone they have met on every isle has a superiority complex of our values and our ways are the one and only superior way of doing it, and you have to perfectly align with those. And if you don't, we will not help you. So these privileged ass dragons are judging everyone. They say that Violet failed Andarna by taking advantage of her immaturity, when we know so well no one tells Andarna what to do. And the end of this chapter, I so thought we were about to get the second signet confirmation, and we did not get that second signet confirmation. But chapter 42, the Irids say that there is no cure for venom, and you know what? I don't believe them. I think there's a cure. I think they have something to do with it, and I think they just want to live in their privilege and not get involved, as if it's not one day going to affect them. I'm getting so frustrated with every isle. They shun Andarna and say that she can't come with them, and she has to fight for the humans by herself. Sweet Andarna is so wise. She says, you preach peace while only having known its privilege. And, like, hell yes, she's so right. They've never had to fight for anything, and they're like, oh, well, you should just, like, be this way. Like, great, you're pacifist, but you have no capability for empathy. Oh my god. Xaden gets real pissed that this part of the mission has failed, so then his eyes go red, the Irids see him, and then they're like, oh, we're definitely not helping you. In chapter 43, it's not only the Irids that saw his eyes, but also Riddick saw his eyes, and he's like, hey, Violet, what the fuck? And to everyone else, even if they didn't know he was Venom, it's obvious something's not right, and Riddick's like, his control is slipping. And Riddick is exactly what Violet needed, because she has been so delusional. For sure, she's in love. He makes her draw the line of, if he hurts you, I will turn him in. And he also points out that everyone who knows about this values Xaden's life over Violet's. It's not that they don't value Violet's, but they will put him above her. So he says, you have to tell Sawyer, Jacinia, and Ree. And he's making great points here. When they get back to Basgiath, they find out that the Queen of Poramil is dead, Kat is now one step closer to the throne, the Viscount is now the king. In chapter 44, Violet tells her friends what has been happening.